Welcome to the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent.
Steve, welcome back to the Friday at 4, episode 59, buddy.
We're getting there.
Getting
Welcome. It's
there.
good to be here. Glad you're back as well. So yeah,
Yeah,
so it should be another good week. I'm excited.
yeah. So if our audience notices when they watch this, you'll see I'm looking a little weird on screen here. I'm traveling today. I'm not at the house. I am on the road where I like to be.
But let's make it very clear to the audience, you are not driving. You are pulled over. Just to be safe. So you're safe, no cops issue, no police issues. You're in good shape. Okay. That's what I care about. Okay.
Safety first.
Safety
Well, in
first.
the future, I'm going to be like, hey, I'm sitting in my RV recording now. So, hey,
That'll be pretty cool.
yeah, that's the next phase of this.
All
Absolutely.
right. All right, you're
Yeah.
getting there.
Yeah. It's been a good week. Like I said, traveling, finished up recording the show yesterday.
Mhm.
And wow, what an experience. It's episode 11 is going to be amazing up Chasing the Stars, paced and rated. Amazing.
Good. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's gonna, whoa, I don't know how to explain it other than wow.
Good
And
stuff.
I,
Good
and
stuff.
I love it because we just keep getting better and better. And thanks to my daughter, who's helping me film and has a good eye for this stuff too. She's she's
Mhm.
she's good.
It's an evolving process. Whatever we
Always.
do, the
Yeah.
goal is to get that little bit better each time we do something.
Yeah. So
That's the
true.
goal. Yeah.
Yeah. I look
Yeah.
back at my first episode to the 10th one. I'm like, wow, what a like night and day. Well, back then I didn't know any better. I'm just a guy with a dream and a vision. I don't know how to film and record and take pictures. I just did the best I could.
But you don't know until you try. You look at the results and say, oh, I could do this better. I could do that better. It's a learning process. We all go through it in everything we do.
And constructive criticism, I take feedback very well. You tell me something, I'll look and see if I can improve it, fix it, right?
Yeah. As long as it makes sense. Yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yep. So
Good
now we were
stuff.
toying around a couple ideas earlier about the show
Sure.
today, what we're going to talk about. So the floor is yours. Have at it. Tell us what you got.
All right. So, one of the things that we all, I shouldn't say all, many of us um, encounter, whether we're working or not, is this thing called healthcare.
Hmm.
Now, let me start out by saying I have a health license, but I do not actively practice.
Gotcha.
If you have questions now or even, after we're done, my suggestion is go find a licensed practicing health professional so
Hmm.
that they can give you the more accurate, up-to-date information on plans and pricing and all kinds of stuff. Please, excuse me, please do not try to do this on your own because if you do and you make a mistake, it could cost you dearly financially. So again, caution, please get a licensed professional.
Yeah.
The purpose of this talk also is not to take sides and not to give you my opinions on the state of the healthcare industry, because if I did that, somebody would come in and censor me. So we're not going to go into that subject.
What
So,
a relief. Because I know you and I had talked about that through text, and I was worried about that when we talked about this subject. I was like, that's a touchy subject, but
no,
I think you nailed it.
not going there.
And we're
It,
not going
it's
there.
You don't talk about politics, you don't talk about religion, and you don't talk about healthcare. Okay, so
Or how
okay,
much you make.
exactly. I like my life intact the way it is. I'm not talking about this stuff. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
having said that, um, there are multiple ways to get healthcare. One way is, and I'm I shouldn't say anything. I shouldn't assume anything because that's dangerous. But there is something out there called the marketplace. Now, the marketplace, and I was in there for a while,
Yeah.
it's not bad. It depends on your needs, depends on your budget, depends on your income, depends on where you live. And it's a way to go in, like I'm in New York. So I went to the New York marketplace and I found a plan that fit my needs, my budget, my time frames. And I chose that plan personally because my doctor that I liked, that I've been going to for years, was in that plan.
Nice.
That was really, again, for me, that was my criteria
Yeah.
because, again, I am getting on a little bit and I want to make sure that the doctor I go to, I have experience with, that I trust,
Yeah.
that I can talk to them, get an honest answer back, that they're not going to do unnecessary testing. There's a lot of things that I looked at. So for me, that worked.
Yeah.
Other people may not. But again, we're generically, it's something to consider. Again, it is less expensive in most cases.
Yeah. I struggled with that early on. Right prior to COVID, I struggled with the marketplace. I actually went to someone here in Maryland who actually they had reps who would help you choose a plan and get
Oh,
through the system. And yeah, it was helpful. But then during COVID, after I learned a little bit, during COVID, I was able to figure it out, get a plan that worked, and then all that changed after COVID.
right.
So yeah, that's all I
Yeah.
gotta say.
And and again, I can't speak. Another generic statement, say that again. Um,
Right.
Plans are renewed every year.
Yeah.
So if you find you're in one this year and it's not meeting your needs, unless there's some extenuating circumstances, you're kind of stuck until the end of
Yeah.
the year. Now, today is October 16. No, I'm sorry, I take that
Today's
back.
the
It's October
17th.
17. I was
Yeah.
close.
Only a day off.
It's
You're
in
okay.
October, okay.
Yeah.
The reason I make that statement is they have what they call open enrollment. That means that between like early to mid October until sometime early December, you can switch plans without penalty, without
Yeah.
anybody asking questions. You can drop one, add one. There's no criteria. Once you pass that open enrollment period, then you need a special circumstance like getting married, like having a child. Those are kind of the some of the special circumstances for you to go between the open enrollment period. So from like mid-December to the following October. That's the kind of like the you can't go anywhere period.
Yeah.
Um, so keep that in mind that if you want to make a change, kind of now's the time to start looking and doing.
That's
The
the same with Medicare too, right? It's the same way, the same open enrollment. I think it runs the same time period,
I'm
right?
not sure.
Yeah.
I'm really not. I don't want to give you the wrong answer.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
my guess is it's a quick Google search. Is there an open enrollment period on Medicare? I
Yeah.
truly don't know. And again, don't want to give the wrong answer. So I would
Right.
suggest the viewers just do a quick Google search.
Yeah.
Um, Now, but when it comes at, so if you're not looking or interested in the marketplace, then you have the regular healthcare. So there's two different ways as an employee or employer versus on your own if you're not working.
Yeah.
So if you are, let's say, an employee, what typically happens is if your company provides healthcare, and there are certain states where once the business gets to 10 employees or more, healthcare is required by the employer.
Yeah.
So once they do offer a plan, then the employee has to figure out, what do I do?
Yeah.
Do I take a lower paid, lower payment every paycheck. But if I take a lower payment, then my deductible is higher. So that could mean, let's say, and again, I'm just making these numbers up. Let's say I pay $200 per paycheck. If me or my family goes to the doctor, that first two, three, $4,000 of medical expenses come out of my pocket before the plan kicks in and pays 100%. The other side to that is instead of paying 200 to pay 3 to 4,000, what if I paid 400 and now maybe I only pay 1,000? Nobody knows the future. So do I pay 200? Do I pay 100? Do I pay 500? I don't know. It is a gamble.
Yeah.
The lower, the younger you are, many people do basically roll the dice and take a gamble and say, you know what? I'm young. I'm healthy today. I'm going to sign up for something that I'm only going to pay $100, counting on the fact or hoping on the fact, and hoping is not a strategy, but hoping that I stay healthy and I don't go to the doctor and all I'm paying is 100 a check or 100 a week, 100 paycheck, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
As you get older, or I like to say a little more seasoned, okay? It's my
Well, the
new word,
challenges might be
seasoned.
a little bit more extreme.
Well, I'm trying to be nice,
Right.
because I'm in that boat, so I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah. I'm right there
But
behind you. I'm
yeah,
rowing
yeah.
behind you.
But
Right.
as you get older, seasoned, whatever you want to call it, chances are things are going to start happening.
Yeah.
When they start happening, you may not want to risk paying 100 and then having to pay 5 grand out of pocket.
Yeah.
You may want to pay 200 and pay 2,500 out of pocket. And again, these numbers are made up, they're not real.
Yeah.
But the idea is the lower you pay per pay period, the more you're going to have to pay if something happens.
Yeah.
The higher per pay period, the lower you pay if something happens. Nobody knows the future. Nobody knows. It's a gamble.
Yeah. And that's
Um,
why I think it's cool that you have, like, I had an advisor who sat
mhm,
down with me and broke all that down to say, here's all the plans, here's
right,
what they offer. What do you feel like would benefit you at your age? You have health
correct,
conditions, what
correct,
is all this underlying stuff that you know about that could
mhm,
alter how much you pay and how much you want to pay, as
correct.
that deductible through the year if something happens. And I struggle with that on a daily basis because I want health care again. I want to get it.
Mm,
I also got to figure out what do I want to pay at my age,
right, right.
Yeah.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah. So,
Now, as a part, it's not just what you're paying, let's say, per pay period. There's also, when you go to the doctor, something called a copay.
yeah,
So when you walk into the doctor's office, do you pay $20, $5, $50? Again, it's all part of the plan that you take. So it's
yeah,
per pay period, plus when you go to the doctor, that initial out of pocket. It also sometimes carries over if you need medication.
yeah,
If you go into the pharmacy, some prescriptions may cost you $2, some may cost you $22, some may cost you $222. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But that's all that. What do I want to do? What risk am I willing to take?
risk.
And
Yep.
and and it really is a risk.
Yeah.
And the only one that can answer that question is you.
It's you. Yeah.
You, or
Yeah.
if you have a partner, whatever. But
Partner,
but
right. Mhm.
there's no employer, there's no, like you said, there's people, there's advisors that can give you the different plans
Yeah.
and tell you this one's $10, this one's $20, this one's $50, but
Right.
the end choice has to be yours.
Yep. And
And
how it
again,
changes if you have a family. It's like
right,
those plans are just it's insane,
right,
you know?
having a family, especially with
Yeah.
young kids,
With young
all the
kids. Yep.
doctor's visits,
Yeah.
the checkups, the
Yep.
medicine, the all the stuff that comes with it, you
Yeah.
may end up paying more because you have the family with the kids and
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
And you really cannot, or well, you can do anything you want, but you should not
And,
do without medical, especially when it comes to young kids, because they
yeah.
need attention. If something happens, it could wipe you
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so
Yeah. I
that,
was very fortunate during the COVID time that my kids were automatically covered.
mm,
So I got lucky. Yeah. I just had to worry about myself. And it was a challenge, but we got
yeah,
through it, you know. 'Cause COVID
it
was a
is.
tricky time for insurance, you know. It was. Yeah.
So in 2011, when actually it was 2009 to 2011, when my wife was sick, um, her bills were through, I mean, six figures through the roof. And yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
And I remember that first bill for the procedure she needed was $106,000. Just the procedure,
Yeah.
not the doctor, not the hospital, just the procedure.
Yeah.
Insurance covered 99. They came after me for the other six or seven.
Yeah. Unfortunate, man.
So yeah,
Sorry.
and it was just, I'm not saying it for that. I'm just saying I'm the example of the cost.
Absolutely.
Nobody
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah.
It's basically it's a crapshoot. I hate to use
It's
that
a
word, but
crapshoot.
it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So what
get
do
it.
you do?
Yeah.
Um, so that's a lot of what a company provides. Now, I'm looking at my notes. To go just a little bit further into that, whatever the cost is for you and or your family, if you have one, the employer gets a bill from the insurance company. The employer then decides how much of that cost will they pay and how much will they pass off to you.
Right.
That's also something you have no control over.
Yeah.
The larger the company, more employees, more cost to the employer. They
Yeah.
may pay less, you have to pay more.
And that's
Again,
year over year happens a lot.
correct, correct.
Yeah.
It's year after year, year over year.
Year over
Now,
year.
what also can happen, some employers for the plan that they're offering will have what they call an HSA, which is a health spending account. So, what that is really simply, it's money that you, as the employee, you put aside pre-tax to cover medical expenses
Right.
that year. So if you're making $100 a week and you're going to get taxed on 100, or if you have an HSA, let's say you take $10 out. Now you're only taxed on 90. So your taxes are less. So you're really going to save a little bit of money. But now you have this $10 to use for doctors, prescriptions, or anything else.
Right.
It's
Medicines.
it's
Yeah.
tax deductible.
Right.
It can be used for copays, prescriptions, office visits, whatever you want to use it for. And the beauty of an HSA is you can roll it if you don't use it into next year. So if you have $10 this year and don't use it, and you repeat the process, now you have $20 next year, which is great because there are some plans out there that either you use it or you lose it.
Lose it.
And it's
Yeah.
crazy to give money back. I mean, I'm sorry, we work too hard. I'm not giving money back, right? So, okay.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. It makes you wonder, right? Like some of the laws and the things that happen to our paychecks, and healthcare is one of them. you
And
know?
healthcare is one of them. But it's one
Yeah,
of those things that we really have no choice. I mean, yes, you always have a choice, but
yeah,
where possible and you can afford it, you really need it
yeah,
because one unforeseen medical expense that is not covered could wipe you out financially.
yep. Yes,
And
sir.
companies will, when you have an outstanding bill, they will go after everything you have, your
Yeah,
bank accounts, your car, your house. They will go after everything.
yeah,
That's why, as much as we don't want to have this expense, we kind of have to.
yeah.
They kind of back you into a corner. I don't mean to be negative. I'm just trying to be real.
And it's eye-opening too that, there's people like me out here who don't currently have medical insurance who want to get it, but you're at that crossroads, right? It's like some things are far more important than that right now, and yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and it is a choice. We all have a choice of what we do
yeah,
with a limited amount of income. And many of us, especially in this economy, are not where we want to be.
yeah,
So, with that limited income, I mean, you kind of got to have a roof over your head, whatever that means. You got to have a roof over
yeah,
your head. You have to eat. You have to
yep,
pay the electric bill or gas bill. If you drive, you really need insurance. You got to have gas. You got to have maintenance. I mean, my car was 14 years old, so I didn't have a car payment. And I loved that car, by the way, until it fell apart.
until it fell
but,
apart.
but that's part of the things that we really have to juggle of what do
Yeah,
we pay for? So again, it's that what's nice to have versus what you must have.
yeah,
You must eat.
yeah,
Again, it doesn't mean you need steak. You could eat hamburger, but you must eat.
yep.
Okay.
Wants and needs, wants and needs,
Sorry.
wants and needs, wants and needs. That's
Yep.
how it is
Yep.
sometimes.
Yeah. And we
Especially in
balance
this
it.
economy.
Well, yeah, we balance it all the time. We have no choice. That's why so many people are working two jobs,
Yeah,
sometimes three, because we have
yeah,
no choice.
yeah,
Um, so the other type that I wanted to talk about briefly was as well, not even that. When you leave, if you're an employee and you leave, they have what's called COBRA, and I forget what it stands for, but that's health insurance that you pay for yourself almost as a standalone person. And
yeah.
typically, the Cobra could be 3 to 5 times what you're paying as an employee.
When I left corporate America, I got that letter in the mail about your insurance is going to stop on this date. Here's your Cobra stuff. And when you look at that, man, it is astronomical.
It is
It was amazing how expensive it was.
because you're going from a group plan
Right.
to an individual plan.
Yeah.
And even as an individual, it's more expensive Cobra. I think, from what I've looked at, it's more expensive Cobra than if you went and got it on your own. So the question really becomes, why take Cobra? But
I
some
take
people
Cobra.
don't know, so they
I
take it.
think wasn't Cobra the only option after you were in like a group plan because the marketplace didn't exist until
Correct.
recent years. So I
Right.
think there were the only two options, right? The only two options were if you work for a company, you have health care. If you don't work for a company, well, there's Cobra, or you have nothing.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
again, I'm not the expert. What
Yeah.
I don't know, and I truly don't know this, that's why I'm putting this out there. If you leave a company, you or offered Cobra,
Yeah.
but if you turn Cobra down, can you go out on your own and get your own coverage? I
And that's
I
what I
think,
did.
yeah, yeah. Now I don't
That's what
know
I did.
which would be more expensive. My
Yeah.
guess is on your own is probably more expensive than Cobra. That's my
Um,
guess. But again, I could be wrong.
Now I can speak on because I was part of this when I denied Cobra, I went to the marketplace, and
Hmm.
that's where I found a really decent plan, but it had a really high deductible.
Hmm.
but it was affordable. I was paying like $99 a month for the
Mm,
plan, but it
okay.
was like a $6,000
There
deductible.
you go.
So scary, right? There
Yeah.
were other options like I could do $250 a month, and it was like a $5,000 deductible.
Right.
Then I went to one like four or five, $600 a month with like $1,000 deductible.
Right.
I said no, I can't do this.
But that's again,
Choices.
that's the
Yeah,
choice.
yeah,
Pay more out of pocket
yeah.
for a less deductible if something happens, or
Right.
less out of pocket, pray nothing happens
Yeah,
for a higher payout at the end.
yeah.
Again, it's whatever works for a particular person.
And like your advice said in the beginning of this episode, what we talked about, reach out to someone, a professional,
Hmm.
because you don't want to do
Right.
something that's going to hurt you,
Correct.
and not
Correct.
make the right choice or the right decision and come back to
Correct.
bite you after you make
Correct.
that
Correct.
decision, right?
Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I do know people that I work with that do the healthcare. So
good.
if somebody out there is interested, I can certainly refer you to somebody who's really good and experienced. So
Yeah,
don't pull somebody out of off the internet going, "Oh, find me a person in my area." No.
yeah,
You want somebody who has the reputation, who's good. And I can refer you if you want to. Full
yeah,
disclosure, I get nothing for it other than
yeah,
helping you. Full
yeah,
disclosure. Okay. So there's no
yeah.
monetary in here at all.
Yeah. We're not like affiliates for these people.
No, no, I'm not. I
Yeah,
do, I like you, I do because we want to help people. We're not
yeah,
here to nickel and dime everybody and do it that way. That
yeah,
to me, that's the wrong thing to do.
yeah. And I also think that a lot of people that watch this podcast now are regulars. Sure, they understand that I do host read ads for people
Mm.
monetarily, and we put links in our show notes to help people. But I think they know that we would disclose if there was some kind of monetary, we're going to get some kind of compensation from something we talk about. And you and I are very upfront and honest about the way we do things with this, and I love that. You know,
Yeah, to me, it's got to be that way.
yeah,
There's
absolutely.
so many things going on, so many scams going on. I would rather be upfront and let somebody else make the decision.
Yeah, we don't want to
So,
scam anybody.
right,
Absolutely.
right,
Yep.
right. Um, the other thing that we didn't really hit on is if you're an employer, you own the business, then you're on the side of, okay, which plans do I offer? How much do
Yeah,
I pay versus the employee pays? If it's under, again, depending on the states, if it's under 10 people, do I have to offer it? I can save money. But if I don't offer it, I could lose my employees to a company that does offer
that
it.
does offer it. Yeah,
So,
yeah,
again, there's no right or wrong. Every business owner has to make those decisions.
yeah.
Um, what I believe to be true is you can't cherry pick. So if you have 7 employees, you have to offer it to all 7.
That's correct.
From the healthcare side. Certain
That's
other
correct.
things you can, but I believe the
That's called a
healthcare
group
is an
plan
all or
for a
none.
reasons because you have a group.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you
Yeah, a
also,
group
yeah,
plan because you are a group. Yeah,
yeah. So that's what that is, and it's a really touchy situation. Healthcare is a really touchy situation, or a
it is.
touchy topic to talk about.
It really is.
Again, it's something
Yes.
that we need. We may not want to pay for. What happens if something happens?
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of people who may take money and other assets out of their names, put it in somebody else's name. So just in case something happens, okay, I didn't pay, go sue me. I have nothing.
Right.
My house is in
thousand
somebody else's
percent.
name. My car's in somebody else's name. Um, my bank accounts are cleaned out.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, people do all kinds of things. And I'm not getting into the legality and the morality of things. That is not the purpose of this discussion.
It's not what we do ever.
But people, when it comes to somebody coming after you financially, which impacts you and your family, people put the guards up. People say, you know what, get
They
away
do.
from me, and they do
Yeah,
whatever they can. And I
they do.
understand it. I was in that position.
Yeah.
Um, And it's not a
Yep.
good one.
Yeah. You got it.
Yeah, but it's something we have to do.
Yep. All right. 516-727-2294. Reach out to Steve. He's got the answers. If not, he'll find the answers for you. People to help with healthcare.
Thanks. And give Chuck a holler. 410-935-6132. Let him come into your business. Take a look at what's right from his perspective and his experience, and an independent view. What's working, what's not working, and suggestions to help you improve your business and increase your revenue and reduce your expenses.
Yeah, because with the business snapshot that I put together, that can help you save. I mean, we're looking at probably easy $5,000 a month,
Mm,
that you can possibly save by just looking at this snapshot and finding what's
yeah.
happening in your business from a
Yeah.
standpoint, and what a better way to, if you can save $5,000, you can add that towards your healthcare, you know?
$5,000 sometimes keeps a business open.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I do what I do.
Yeah.
That's why I love what I do. It's
Hmm.
very valuable, just like what you do. It's so valuable that you can help people really manage their money,
Hmm.
and to really put that money into something that can make them money so you can
Hmm.
retire and not feel the pressure
Right.
of, I'm not
Right.
going to make that guy get a part-time job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
There's
Yeah.
there's generically, and I'll do this quick because I know we're running out of time. There's two ways to approach something. One is somebody can walk in and try to sell you whatever they're offering, the latest shiny penny, whatever it is. The other type of person comes in, gets to know you, figures out what challenges you have, and then solves those challenges. And that's what you do, and that's what I do. And that's what makes
Yeah.
us different than most people out there.
Yes. Yes, indeedy. Yep. Steve, what another great episode, man. I
Yeah.
tell you, we always come up with something that's really beneficial and helps people, and I'm,
Yep.
like I said, every episode, I'm thankful and grateful for your time.
Yeah, you as
I'm
well.
sure our audiences, our audience, the people who listen
Mhm.
to it, I'm sure they love to get these nuggets from us. They
Yep.
learn something every week, and they go back and they can search the website, search the podcast to get that data that they're looking for, the information that they need. I really,
Mhm.
I love it. It's good,
Yeah, me
you
too.
know.
And for those people out there that are watching this, if you have things you want us to talk about, different topics, whatever,
Yeah.
our numbers are on here. You can call us, get in touch with us. We'll absolutely address your concerns. And if you want to come on as a guest, call us.
Um,
Let's have a chat. Maybe you can come
that's
on. We've had guests
exactly,
before,
yep,
so
it's
come
exactly
on.
what I was going to say. Come on as a guest. I'd love to have guests on
Yep.
here on Fridays. Yeah.
Yep.
And I talk about it a lot with a lot of people. So,
Hmm.
it's widely talked about. So we'll make it. We'll get there, you know?
We will. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. So,
All right. Good
Steve, all
stuff.
right. Friday at 4 because
It's 4 o'clock somewhere.
black somewhere. Absolutely. Hey, enjoy the rest of the day. Have
You
a great
too.
Friday evening, good
Yep.
weekend, and everybody else have a great weekend.
You
Hopefully
got
people
it.
listen to this will gain some knowledge from it and reach out to you.
Perfect. Thanks, Chuck.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend. Thanks,
Steve,
everyone.
have a good day, man. We'll talk soon, buddy.
You got it. Take care.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
You've been watching the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent. Thanks for watching.